The ongoing war between Israel and Palestine has caused tensions between the United States and Turkey to increase. Even more, Turkish President Erdogan wants the withdrawal of aircraft carriers sent by the United States to support Israel. The expected move from Turkey came when the U.S. government did not agree to withdraw these aircraft carriers. Turkish Navy ships are being sent to the eastern Mediterranean. Turkey, which tried to demonstrate a neutral policy in the early days of the war, broke its neutrality after the words of U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinkin. As it is known, American Minister Blinkin announced his support for Israel by saying, "I am here with my Jewish identity" during his visit to Israel. Turkish President Erdogan, in order to react to Anthony Blinkin, responded by saying, "I also approached the region as a Muslim," and made a statement of support for Palestine. This dispute between the two has caused great tension between Turkey and the United States. After Israel's attack on Gaza on December 27, 2008, Turkey sent a ship to provide support to Gaza. On December 30, 2008, the Turkish ship Yulin was attacked by Israeli Navy soldiers in international maritime waters. As a result of this Israeli attack, 10 crew members on the ship lost their lives. After this Israeli attack, relations between Turkey and Israel deteriorated completely. Turkey has withdrawn its ambassador to Israel and ended diplomatic relations with Israel. This tension decayed between Turkey and Israel in 2008 due to the Israeli attacks on Gaza. Years later, Israel's reopening of the war on Gaza led to relations between Turkey, the United States, and Israel reaching much more strained dimensions. The U.S. sending 2 aircraft carriers and warships to the eastern Mediterranean prompted Turkey to take action. By the order of President Erdogan, the Turkish Navy is starting to conduct military exercises around American aircraft carriers and warships sent to support Israel, while the war between Israel and Palestine continues in a mutual way. Turkey's move is a clear message to the United States. Currently, there is the U.S. Gerald aircraft carrier belonging to the United States in the eastern Mediterranean, 4 destroyers, and a cruiser ship accompanying this ship. Turkish Navy officials stated that they will enter the eastern Mediterranean with a large number of Navy ships. Another interesting part was that the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus also participated in this exercise. The U.S. administration has made a statement that it will move its ships through southern Cyprus to evacuate U.S. citizens living in Israel. Shortly after this announcement, the Northern Cyprus administration decided to participate in this exercise by Turkey. Otherwise, the U.S. Navy ships would be able to move comfortably on the Cyprus sea borders. If Turkey conducts any military exercises in this region, U.S. ships may have to withdraw from this region. It seems that Turkey's plan is also in this direction. The Turkish government underlined that real bullets and missiles will be used during the exercise. If the artillery shots fired during the exercise hit any of the U.S. Navy ships, Turkey will not be held responsible for this attack. Since the Turkish government has announced that it will conduct exercises in this region, the U.S. administration has to withdraw these ships from the borders where the exercises will be held. Do you think the United States will give in to this show of force by Turkey? Immediately after this tension between Turkey and the United States, the decrees from America surprised everyone. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinkin expressed full support for Israel in the early days of the war. Now he has expressed his rejection of the idea of forcing residents of Gaza to leave their land. In the same way, U.S. President Biden warned Israel. The U.S. president, who made assessments on Israel's attacks on Gaza and possible ground operations, said that it would be a big mistake for Israel to occupy Gaza. Do you think that after Turkey's threatening moves against the United States may be trying to switch to a neutral position in this war? Turkish President Erdogan's meeting with Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi has taken its place on the world agenda. During this meeting, President Erdogan stated that steps should be taken to resolve this decisional process between Israel and Palestine and the increasing tension in the region. According to the allegations, if the Iranian government directly intervenes in this war, it will support it in Turkey. The technology deconfliction between Turkey and Israel, which has been going on for years, will be one of the biggest points of attention in this war. The Bayraktar unmanned combat aircraft produced by Turkey became one of the points that changed the course of the deconfliction between Russia and Ukraine. On the other hand, Israel has Hermes and Heron model unmanned combat aircraft that have as modern technology as Bayraktar. Which country's military technology do you think is more advanced? Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan's meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov leads to increasing claims that Turkey will directly intervene in this war. It is said that the Israeli attacks on Gaza were discussed during the meeting. The head of Iran's National Security Committee said in a statement, "Israel's entry into Gaza is our red line." Israeli army officials stated that Iran had given instructions to Hezbollah and that Hezbollah would launch an attack on Israel from Lebanon. Meanwhile, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin warned Hezbollah not to launch an attack against Israel. After rumors that Hezbollah was going to launch a major attack on Israel, the Israeli army demanded the complete evacuation of residential areas 2 kilometers from the Lebanese border. In the same way, a state of emergency was declared in a 4-kilometer area as the Israel Defense Forces continue to pile tanks and troops on the border with the Gaza Strip. Soldiers of the Israeli 500 Feet 1st Brigade have already begun preparations for an overland entry into Gaza. In the videos they have shared on social media platforms, it is seen that the Israeli soldiers have started to make the final preparations. The Israel Defense Forces announced that Hezbollah had struck points inside the Lebanese borders after Hezbollah's allegations that a major attack was being planned on Israel. The Israeli military continues to carry out airstrikes on Hezbollah forces inside the borders of both Syria and Lebanon. According to a report published by the Russian news agency TASS, Russian President Vladimir Putin held a phone call with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad a few days ago. Russia had shipped cannons and shells to Syria, while the Israeli army continues its airstrikes inside the borders of Syria, Gaza, and Lebanon. The Israeli Channel 13 television channel shared news that explosions continue to be heard in the Israeli capital Tel Aviv today. In the near future, U.S. President Biden is expected to pay a visit to Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has announced that he has invited Joe Biden to Israel. A U.S. official said in a statement that they are working on President Biden's visit to the Middle East this weekend. Iran has been one of the countries that have intervened the most in this war between Palestine and Israel. The Iranian foreign minister said in a statement that the Chinese government should use its capabilities to stop the attacks on Gaza.